Today I'm talking about one of the filthiest movies in an already very filthy subgenre, women in prison, and that film being the 1980 Brazilian film Bear Behind Bars, directed by the legendary Oswaldo de Oliveira. Who is that, you may ask? I don't know, he made 2 women in prison films I've seen, and both of them are sleazy, filthy, disgusting movies, but this one takes the cake.
It's been 10 days since the girls have had a bath.
In a lot of ways, it's very similar to other women in prison film. In fact, that genre is very formulaic, and this one doesn't really stray out of the path. But what it doesn't have in originality, it has in absolute sleaze.
That girl almost killed me. She's got the endurance of a cat.
The film is about this Brazilian prison where there's no discipline. Why, you may ask? Because every staff of this prison, and I mean everyone except the lunch lady, is sexually attracted to the prisoners, and most of them have intercourse with them, which is not a way to, run the penal system.
And they lose their exercise privileges for a month.
You of course have the warden, who's less of an Ilsa and more of just an ill snot. Although she enjoys torturing the prisoner, we see that a lot, especially in the beginning, because one of the prisoners gets stabbed and she wants to get to know who stabbed that prisoner. So she utilizes an electric fence where water pours on it the entire time, which is a creative way to torture somebody and also a very messed up way, while you have other prisoners hung in the background. But even though she's an hard ass who isn't really appreciated by her coworker, she has a little problem. She really likes her prisoners, like unhealthy amount of liking her prisoners. Whenever the new 18-year-old prisoner walks through the door, she discovers that she's really good in bed, so much so that she absolutely falls in love and does everything she wants. Then you have the nurse, who is the comedic relief of this film, I guess. You see, she's just your typical dumb blonde character who just got this job, I don't know how, because there's a scene that's supposed to be funny where she goes to take the warden's pressure but put that little pressure thing around her neck instead of her arm.
I just adore raspberry pudding.
Also, the nurse is addicted to ether. No, not that cryptocurrency called Ethereum, but ether. The drug that your great-great-great-grandmother used to take before getting her insides all turned out by your great-great-great-grandfather. And she snorts a lot of it, which kinds of turns her crazy, which I guess explains why she's so dumb. And to go back to the principle of there's no discipline in this, they do a check and find a table, an entire table's worth of weapons that the prisoners have inserted into them, which is a recurring theme in this film. You see a lot of ladies fishing out weapons out of their holes, which wouldn't be too bad because, you can take a switchblade, a razor blade inside your anus pretty easily. What? But one of the weapons is an entire ol' gun. Now, I'm no biology expert, but how do you fit an entire gun inside your cooter? I mean, I've seen pretty large cooters, I guess.
How dare you speak to me like that? I'll fix you.
And the set design in this is so filthy, it's truly disgusting. They have rats, they have dirty beds, dirty floors, dirty walls, like it's incredible. I don't think that was, on purpose. I think they just shot in a really dirty place.
Get out of here!
One of the subplot, again with the nurse, is that she has a toy that the prisoners really like. They steal it from the nurse's office and they trade it between each other, which doesn't seem sanitary, but who am I to judge? And then the nurse uses a pineapple to insert somewhere that a pineapple shouldn't go.
I think the prisoners would enjoy celebrating Carnival Night in another way.
Then the 18-year-old prisoner with a group of friends plan to escape from the prison. Since the new prisoners got the warden in her grip, she asks her to do something for the carnival, put on a mass, a church service, if you will, and the warden is like, yeah, no problem. Meanwhile, the nurse is also in love with another prisoner from that group, and she tells her where she can escape from. You see, the nurse's office has a secret passageway to the cemetery. Oh, there's also a subplot at the beginning where this very powerful woman goes into the prison, chooses one of the prisoners, and has intercourse with her for the remaining of the films until she ultimately kills her, leading that subplot to absolutely nothing other than showing more boobs. So yeah, the prisoners escape, and that's where this movie gets spicy like a meatball. Because this is happening during Brazil's carnival. They go out, they dance, and then they enter a house, murder the entire family, and do something to a little boy that Sweet Movie would blush at. I'm not going into further details, you'll have to watch this movie. Add to that, castration, and you get what is pretty goddamn filthy. Since, you know, they murdered an entire family, well, the police is like, hey, that's probably the prisoners who escaped, especially since they left their goddamn uniform at the murder scene. So the last 15 minutes of this film is the police trying to catch the prisoners, which they ultimately do, but one of them gets killed by a jealous ex-boyfriend anyways. The police get the prisoners, the movie ends, and you've just witnessed a dirty, scuzzy movie.
When I was a kid, I dreamed of being a nurse.
So, what are my final thoughts on Bear Behind Bars, which, by the way, this DVD is amazing because it's the X-rated cut. Yes, there are some hardcore scenes in this for some goddamn reason, including one that finishes with castration. This movie is wild. It's absolutely disgusting and filthy, but you can't do anything but turn away. Now, the early 80s were a prime time for very sleazy women in prison film. You got this one, you of course got Jess Franco's Sadomania, which I think I prefer over this one, because this one doesn't stray away from the path. It's your very generic women in prison film that just happens to be very sleazy and have a lot of things going into other places where it shouldn't go. It's funny sometimes, it's disgusting most of the time, so it's a perfect movie for your family watch on a Friday. Thank you for watching, see you guys next time.